How Africa civilized Europe and what they paid back. Wealthy ancient European intellectuals of arts and sciences in Greece and later in Rome, craved knowledge and civilization from African masters. Just as investors in search of fortune sponsored explorers into Africa, they went back home to educate their people in light of what they had learned in Africa. In view of the stories they heard from travelers, African civilization was beyond their imagination. In fairness to these early students of African masters, such as Thales of Miletus, Socrates, Isocrates, Pythagoras, Hippocrates, Diodorus, they gave credits to the dark-skinned, straight to woolly black-haired Africans of Ethiopia, Egypt, Sudan and Meroe. They were educated in the skill of medicine, sciences, mathematics, philosophy and more. Only the privileged in their communities could be educated in Africa. There was no doubt or questions about the African civilization. Of course, some Africans had mixed complexions still reflected today throughout Africa. But to label them white, or even half-white, is a revision of facts and history to suit the narrow-mindedness of 19th and 20th centuries Eurocentric racist pseudo-scientists armoring African arts and sciences. So, that was ancient times. What happens to Africans now? Miracles are still happening in Africa that Africans do not appreciate, encourage, nurture or even reject. If you reject your own inventions, exchange your best and the brightest for vanity without substance, nobody would patronize yours. The first money most Africans make is squandered out of their community circulation, out of Africa. No wonder, descendants of Queen of Sheba and Mansa Kankan Musa, the first and second world's richest drunken sailors. Long before there was any European civilization, many had to come to Africa for study with the wise men of ancient Egypt, who were black, to train in medicine, mathematics, geometry, art, and so forth. When Isocrates wrote of his studies in the book Busiris, he said that I studied philosophy and medicine in Egypt. He did not study these subjects in Greece in Europe, but in Egypt in Africa. So, what are today Eurocentrics saying? The Greeks had no problem in stating their knowledge originated from an African origin. Nowhere did they make references to white deities or white leaders amongst the black culture that gave them philosophy. The Egyptians were colonists sent out by the Ethiopians, Osiris having been the leader of the colony. And the larger part of the customs of the Egyptians were Ethiopian. The colonists still preserved their ancient manners and cultures. What were their skin color before they mixed with Europeans and Arabs? The primary aim of modern Eurocentric scholars is to completely expunge black Africans from the map of human geography and world history to kill the confidence of African children and assumed superiority complexes. The ideological position has been, and still is, that nothing came out of Africa but powerless, defenseless, uncivilized, barbaric and primitive peoples and ideas. Once a people are stripped of their culture, language and pride, substituted with foreign culture, language and pride, they are slaves of the mind from one generation to the next. They harbor self-hatred for their own discoveries. It perpetuates and propagates itself as a virus until it consumes their being. The children of the subjugated also pass it on to their own kids and it goes on for generations. The conquerors need not work on the acculturalization anymore, maintenance is enough since it is already endemic. Writing has been so conflated intentionally, new students would think it originated in Europe. Those that were taught how to read and write are claiming to be the inventors. See Meroitic period, 3rd century BC, of the Kingdom of Kush. The two scripts were Meroitic cursive derived of Demotic Egyptian and Meroitic hieroglyphics derived from Egyptian hieroglyphs. Meroitic cursive is the most widely attested script, comprising most of all the inscriptions. Antedated by a century or more, the earliest surviving Meroitic hieroglyphic inscription. See Greek historian Diodorus Siculus, ca. 50 BC, described the two scripts in his Bibliotheca Historica, Book 3, Africa, Chapter 4. Destruction of writings, library and edifices of Egypt were preserved by some rulers and destroyed by others including Christians and Muslim conquerors just like the Taliban in Afghanistan and ISIS in Iraq. When Caliph Umar ordered his Muslim general Amr ibn al-As and his army of some 4,000 Arabs invaded Egypt, December 639 AD, he ordered, if it's not in the Quran, it's not worthy, if it is in the Quran, it is superfluous, burn it.